Afternoon, listeners. My name is Fatmata Goment, the PRO and the Secretary of Shine Light in Girls Education.
Fatmata is the PRO of Shine Light in Girls Education. So later on, she will speak at length on that particular domain of this particular organization. From there, I have another lady in the building, so she will have the floor to introduce herself.
Good afternoon. My name is Georgia Ndao from Smart Kid Foundation, and I'm the Welfare Minister.
The white lady in the building. So
Okay.
we want her to tell the public who she is and what's her role in Shine Light in girls education.
Okay, good afternoon. I'm Isabel Kiefer. I'm the first chairwoman of Shine Light in Girls Education in Germany. And I'm grateful to stay here today to celebrate and promote the International Day of Girl Child. And even in my town in Germany, people are aware of this day and of the worldwide problems for girls and women. And this is the day is created to give a voice to girls and their needs.
That's true. She is from Germany and she's our representative at Germany. So that means she will tell us a lot about girls' education, what she knows about that, and how it is faring in Germany. But that's not all. We still have somebody else who is our able president. So he has to introduce himself.
Yeah, indeed, it's a pleasure and an honor to be here to give voice concerning about International Girl Child Day. I am Ibrahim Njai Fadera, the president of Shine Light in Girls Education Gambia.
Thank you very much, guys. It is clear the public have heard who are in this building and who are ready to give at least their thoughts on this particular topic that we are going to discuss. The topic of discussion today is going to be the impact of COVID-19 on girls' education. That means COVID-19 has been a pandemic and it is still a pandemic because it is not over. So we still have challenges in it, especially for the girl child. So we are going to discuss at length on that particular topic. But then before we start, going into the topic, we'll first talk to the PRO of the foundation, or let's say the organization, who is Fatmata Gomez. Fatmata will tell us a brief introduction of Shine Light in Girls Education. What is it all about? When did it start, and what are their mandates?
Okay, good afternoon once again, listeners. As I was saying earlier, and I am the PRO of the organization. Shine Light came into existence in January, and our main aim is to empower girls' education. Since our generation is threatened with serious challenges in girls' education, Shine Light in Girls Education is initiated to promote girls' education and further empower women in the Gambia. The need to diverse strategies in addressing the social challenges become paramount. So therefore, there can be no efficient and sustainable development in any nation without the concerned effort and involvement of girls and women. Their participation is very core and central to any modern development in initiative in a nation. So that's why Shine Light in Girls Education came up with this initiative of establishing the organization to empower girls' education. Hence, girls has contributed a lot in the national development of nations. So that is why Shine Light in Girls Education was established.
That's clear, Fatumata, and we've heard something about Shine Light in girls' education. But first, I forgot something very important. I know listeners will say, who is this guy speaking? Since others have introduced themselves, then I'm Lamin Sare, and maybe some of the famous radio listeners will know me because I've been speaking at the radio for some time. So I'm Lamin Sane, and I'm the presenter for this particular program today. So that's clear. That is the mandate of Shine Light in Girls Education. It is here to empower girls' education, to make sure girls are educated, especially in the Gambia. So we are not just stopping at the Gambia, we are concentrated on girls throughout the whole world, and we want to know their, the effects of education on them, some of their challenges, and so on. So that's why we even move up to the provinces to make sure girls' education is moving in the right direction. So from there, I now hand over to the president to tell us at least more about Shine Light in girls' education. What are some of the activities Shine Light conducts normally, and what are some of the challenges? We'll first start with Sunlight in Girls Education. Mr. Fadera.
Yeah.
Yes, since when was Sunlight established in the Gambia, and since its establishment, what are some of the activities you've conducted?
Yeah, thank you so very much. Indeed, it's a great question that you're asking me concerning about Sunlight in Girls Education. I think Fatumata, the secretary, has almost mentioned some of the key importance, the reason why the organization was created in order to help marginalized girls within our community. Because we all feel that we are all vulnerable, but we have the most vulnerable within ourselves. Sunlight in Girls Education came into action. This was by 2020, but it was not, the mind was there since 2019. We were trying to put our works on board. Isabel Kiefer, the president of Germany, was doing her tireless efforts to make sure that the association is registered in both countries.
When was this? Which year was that?
We registered in 2020
2020.
in the Gambia, and the same time in Germany. As I'm speaking right now, we are an NGO because we are registered under the constitution.
We are in 2020, so that means it is not even up to an year.
It's not up to an year, but the idea was like an year because since 2009.
So which month exactly is it?
It was January.
That means early 2020.
Early 2020, and then in Germany it was around March. We were able to register as an NGO to the German Federal Republic. Or in the Gambia, we were able to grant our registration by 2020. But we started the process since January. And since after our registration, Sunlight in Girls Education didn't stop because we feel that there is a great fight that we need to do, a great sacrifice. It doesn't mean who is going to do it. It's need collective responsibility. That is why we involved in a feasibility study that we conduct in the urban area and the rural area. We were able to scrutinize these girls from our feasibility study. Then we try to pave a way for them. My German partners did their ultimate best by making sure they provide support for these 6 girls. Thank God, possibly on the 14th of this month, October, we will try to have the presentation of the school materials to these girl childs that will benefit from our first project.
It means that is the first project. Already there are 6 girls who are to benefit from Sunlight in Girls Education.
Yeah. We have a project called Ludazin Educating a Rural Girl Child. Ludazin is a small village in Germany, and with the help of our German partners, they are also doing a community sensitization to see how to educate a rural girl child Gambia.
Okay.
So through the project will work for 3 years, as we have it in our project proposal, and our target of the project is to have more than 150 or more girls that we are going to support within the 3 years period.
Okay, so it means it is going to be expanded to up to that number of girls you mentioned.
And notwithstanding, we even will be going for scouting again by next week.
Okay, to bring new badges of girls.
Yeah, we will. I will travel with the president because she is available. I will travel with her the provinces and representative from Smart Kids because right now Sunlight in Girls Education are in collaboration with Smart Kids
Very
Foundation.
good. That is what I'm just going to go to. I will come back to you for that.
Thank you.
So that is true. We have a lady in the building that she introduced herself before, and she is the president of Smart Kids Foundation.
Welfare Minister.
Welfare Minister. I'm sorry, that's the Welfare Minister.
Yeah.
Okay. It is important. We need to know something about Smart Kids Foundation. Can you just tell us a brief of it so we can really know? Because I believe by now, Sunlight in Girls Education have already, cemented a partnership between them and Smart Kids Foundation. Can you tell us something about it?
Okay, good afternoon once again. Smart Kids Foundation is a non-profitable foundation whereby to help unprivileged kids to able to have access to education and quality education. So this foundation was established in January 25th January 2019. Now Smart Kids Foundation, it's 1 year, some months, and it is headed by the CEO is called Mrs. Amije Jallo, and we do have our workers there that we work together. Though it's a foundation to help unprivileged kids to able to have quality education, to help them to educate themselves, how may ever be the case in the near future. So we're trying to help these kids to have a better life. As we know that in the rural areas, I can say in the urban areas, it's very difficult for kids to have better education because of what? Lack of fun, lack of so many facilities that certain people are having in the rural area. So we are trying to help these kids to able to be independent in the future. These are the things that we're trying to do. Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. You had this notion to join up to Signlight in Girls Education. What brought it about? Why did you deem it necessary to join up to Signlight in Girls Education to be one?
Okay, as we know that girls' education, it's not that very strong. So we're trying to work together to able to help girls to able to empower themselves to be independent. Nowadays, majority of these girls, they will get married and be dependent to their husband. We don't want anymore. We always say girl empowerment, girl empowerment. We want to raise girl empowerment flag to the higher heights so that we can help girls to able to maintain their flags. Yeah.
Okay, I'll come back to you, welfare manager of Smart Kids Foundation. Isabel Kiefer, you came from Germany and then you've experienced how girls are living in that area. You are the organizer of this particular organization. Can you tell us what makes you to have this intention and why do you organize Signlight in Girls Education?
Thank you very much for this question. Maybe I want to have some words for this. In Germany, I'm working as a psychotherapist, and especially with girls and young women. And I'm taking care of their belongings, and we are always developing solutions for their problems. And it's not only me who knows how to find a way out of the problems. We are talking together, include their families, to find a better way of understanding. Because we know girls and women are devaluated worldwide and abused, and girls are not all allowed to develop their full potential. They suffer because of early marriage, teenager pregnancy, mortality because of delivering as a child, sexual abuse and violence at all. All this can also seen in the Gambia. And through a lot of conversation with citizens of the Gambia, especially with the president, Ibrahim Fadera, and our secretary, Fatoumata Gomez, and students, teachers, mothers, and fathers, one is clear. Even Gambia needs to develop and to have great changes. And our aim in this society, in this work with Signlight in Girls Education is to sensitize the community which advantage they would have if they send 50% of the society to school. It's half of the citizens. And if they include girls and women into the economic development, they will have a tremendous benefit. Signlight in Girls Education is working to sensitize the people and to bring awareness of the importance of school education for girls, because every child, especially girl child, has deserved to get to school.
It is usually said if you educate a girl,
yes,
you educate the whole world.
Yes,
because it is
yes, I know that. Yeah.
So that saying is common. What's your comment on that saying? You think it's factual?
Absolutely.
Is that the main reason why you concentrate on the girl child instead of concentrating on both genders?
You see, the girls and the women are 50% of your society. And how can you develop your country better than including all the peoples, all the members of the society?
It means to develop a country, we need to concentrate on them.
Yes, because they are excluded. And then they are devaluated, and their voice is not loud. Their intelligence is devaluated, and so you need your women, you need your girls, you have to educate them. You will have a tremendous benefit which reflects into the families after they finish their school and after they were able to learn a profession, and they will spend, there are studies, they will spend more than 90% into the families instead of men. Men, they just bring back 30 till 50% into their families, and so everybody has a great benefit of educate girls.
Okay, so it is good that we concentrate on and make sure their education is done in the right way. Fatoumata, today we are celebrating a prestigious, let's say, a very important day, a day that is known as International Day of the Girl Child. What is this day? What does this day mean to Sunlight in girls' education?
Okay, good afternoon once again. The International Day for the girls, it's very very important and significant for shine light in girls' education. Hence, we said we are concentrating on empowering girls' education. So us coming here today to celebrate and join the world in celebrating this noble gesture, I think Shine Light decided to join the bandwagon to celebrate these girls, because girls contribute a lot to the national development of any nation, as I was saying earlier on. So we need to empower our girls. We need to tell them, yes, we can do it. It does not matter where you are. Though yes, we girls face numerous challenges, especially when you're a lady, you're a woman for that matter, because society has a lot to play in it, the government has a lot to play in it. So I think us coming here together to celebrate this day, it's really very significant for shine light in girls' education.
But overall, have you seen any positive changes in girls' education since day is being commemorated?
Yes, I've seen a lot of changes, because most of our girls are being sent to school. But as we're celebrating today, we in I could say the entire world is just into issue and crisis because of the COVID-19. Because most of the girls right now, we're thinking, what is the aftermath of the COVID-19 when it ends? Because we're thinking, are all these girls that are out there, are they going back to school? That is a big question that we need to ask ourselves. And Shine Light in Girls Education is going to make a survey to see how best we can sensitize communities to allow their girl child to go back to school. Yeah. Because we don't know the aftermath of COVID-19. Hence, school has already been announced that we are going to resume school sooner or later. But the problem is, what are we going to do to make sure that these girls are back to school? Because we know that a lot of things has happened during this COVID-19. Hence, a lot of us are staying at home, but the crime rate has also increased. When you come to gender-based violence of these girls, it's just at high gear. There are a lot of issues. Forced labor, because they say, let us stay at home. But most of the girls, when you go to the market today, you go to the public places, you see them doing petty trading and stuff. It's because of when the financial issue is a problem. Some of them are the breadwinner of the family. Some of them are even put at home to take care of the elderly people. So I deem it necessary today to come here as a member of Shine Light in Girls Education to celebrate the International Day for Girls.
Okay, that's fine. Mr. Fadera,
yes.
You were talking about some of the activities you conducted during this COVID-19. We've seen it having lots of impact on girl child. What are some of the impacts that Sandnet has taken to make sure girls' education is not hampered fully, but at least they have at least a bit of positive from it, from on the side of Sunlight in girls' education? What is Sunlight in girls' education basically doing for girls during this COVID-19?
Yeah, thank you so very much for that question. I think before I come to your question, I would like to talk about today, the International Day of the Girl Child, which is the most significant day in the life of a girl child.
It is.
Because it's a day that their voice should be heard in public. I think the following years is women have passed in this agenda. globally movements of issues ranging from sexual and reproductive health and rights to equal play, as Fatoumata has rightly mentioned. Today, this movement has expanded, and girls from all walks of life who are bodily demanding actions against discrimination, violence, and poor learning opportunities. Every year on the 11th October, the International Day of a Girl Child, Sunlighting Girls Education, in collaboration with Smart Kids, is trying to launch a campaign with girls to amplify their voice and stand up for their right, as it is our first year. Yeah, under the theme Operation Let's Listen to Girls' Voice and Respect Their Right and their choice.
That is the theme of this year's celebration.
That's what we are working on this year. That's Operation Let's Listen to the girl child's voice and respect their right and their choices. Then and only then we can able to pave a way for a girl child.
So that is synonymous to what Sunlight in Girls Education is standing for.
Thank you very much.
So
in that we have to seize the opportunity to re-image a world inspired by adolescent girls.
Okay.
Yeah, and then as the worldwide assess their power and make change, the International Day of Girl Child today, we also want to focus on the elimination of all form of discriminations against the girl, eliminate the negative cultural attitudes practiced against the girl child, and also promote and protect the rights and increase awareness of the needs and potentials, elimination discriminations against the girls' education and development and training. Eliminate discriminations against the health and the nutrition, as a lot of women and girls are undergoing serious health challenges as I'm speaking to you, even in the country that I am living. And also eliminate the economic exploitation of children's labor and protect young girls at work. So these are the issues that we want to voice out, as today it's a day of the International Girl Child Day. And coming back to your question, Sunlight in Girls Education, in globally, girls education, investing in girls education need to be accompanied by a dramatical change in our attitude towards the role of a woman in our society. Sunlight in girls education cannot address our girls education crisis until we address our cultural norms and practices that devalue women's intelligence and limit their ambition in our society. If we truly want to keep these girls safe, SLIKE will link communities to transform the culture of impurity into a culture of concern.
Okay.
Because we have a lot of cultures that are also depressing these girls of getting into classroom, and that are also depressing these girls of succeeding whom they want to become.
So how do you do that? How do you make sure those cultures are amended to make sure girls' education is not being disturbed by them?
That's why we will link communities. We will come to their shoes, empathy. By making sure we talk to them, we have honest conversation with the parents. We have experts. Fatoumata Gomez is a very good Jojo from Smart Kids. Who feels it knows it. They are women, and today if they have the opportunity to sit here and speak English, how many women will not get that opportunity to speak English, especially a proper English? So I feel like they were breaking a barrier, and this barrier can also be like a role model to somebody tomorrow. So if Fatoumata can use a podium and speak concerning about a girl's education, I believe 2 or 3 parents could listen to her, because her story could be their daughter's story. And for me personally, I feel like their story is my sister's story, and which is as equals to as my story. This is why Sunlight in Girls Education, we are doing our ultimate best by making sure we knock the communities, because we feel that if the communities are sensitized well, the Gambia has gone under a lot of difficult struggle for women's equality, and that struggle is still going on. My grandmother was limited to education. My mother was a dropout. Should I allow my sister to be a dropout too? So it's a fight that we have to start now. And it doesn't mean that no matter where we came from, no matter what God we prayed, or what race or ethnicity we were, we have to unite as one and fight against this girls' education.
Jojo, when it comes to the topic that he is speaking about, COVID-19 has a lot. So, on your own, what have you noticed from COVID-19 that has been on children, especially girls?
Okay, as we all know that education is the vital tool for social and economic development for individuals. For individuals and various African child faces so many challenges that undermine them for their potentials to be working in the national development. There are certain things that normally disturbs our girls. As we can say, like the COVID-19 right now, how my co-presenters were saying, like there are certain kids, like they're staying at home. Some are not staying at home. They say that like we should do social distancing, staying at home because of what? The COVID-19. But there are certain people, they cannot stay at home. They must go out there, do something, able to, at the end, go back to school. But in the how may ever be the case, they are going back to school, but not all of them will able to go back to school because of so many things can happen. Likewise,
Are you saying some girls cannot go back to school after this pandemic?
Yeah.
After this pandemic, because of what? Peer group influence. Maybe if you can have a friend that can influence you to go and get yourself involved in certain activities, like using drugs, involving yourself in certain violence. At the end, like the likewise of teenage pregnancy can happen. Like I always say, it doesn't matter like when you get pregnant, that doesn't mean that you cannot complete
let me
your
shed
education.
some light on that.
Yeah.
If you see during school time, actually girls are normally occupied in school arena and so on. So they find it very difficult to engage in certain activities. But because of COVID-19, as you said, some of them might be very much, they might have more space to do certain things, so they can, lure themselves into things that are not called for.
Yes.
So they have peers around, so it means they can move about with them. So you are right. In that part, they can be seriously disturbed because sometimes some of them might go with peers which are not good
for them. Yeah.
Exactly. So what other effect do you think COVID-19 has on them?
Yes, some other I could say some other girls will not have access to online education.
Okay.
Right now, the online education, it's online learning is going on, but some people, because of lack of facilities, lack of fund, will make them not able to get those accessibility. So those things can just make them to pull out on school for school, because they will think that, okay, like I don't have all this accessibility, or otherwise they can even go beyond extra miles doing certain things just to able to get what they want.
So that will increase their absence from books. Because some of them will drop it out since they cannot have access to it. Isabel, when it comes to the online issue that she's speaking about, if you look at in Africa, we have problems with connections. That is, internet is always having issues with its connectivity and so on. Because sometimes you'll be connected and suddenly connection will go off.
Yes, I'm very used to that.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
I know that.
you'll not be able to get the lectures as it should be.
Yeah.
Because most of the university students have that experience. So do you think that was something that most of the governments in Africa took as a solution to the problem of COVID-19? So what do you think? Do you think that was a very good step by the governments on the girls' education? Do you think it has an impact, a positive one, on the girls' education? Is it helpful, the online?
I think the idea is very good.
Okay.
The impact of that is very good, but what Jojo already said is you don't have the facilities to take place
to make sure the learning takes place.
Yes,
Yeah.
and this is a big challenge because a lot of people, they don't have the money to spend for credit, and the light is coming and going, and so this is a big challenge for the families and the girls. So but what I want to say is that all these problems we have right now, this is not new. All these problems are old problems, and the pandemic of COVID-19 is just increasing all these problems and issues. And so we have to have a great new investment into the value of the educating of girls. So and we have to start a very honestly conversation with all the people. We have to start talking about the importance of educating of girls means we have to go to the communities, to the families, to the alikalos. We want to have a very empathic, honest and very respectful way of conversation to them, to give the information how important it is to bring them into school or bring them back to school. Because for me, from my point of view, I'm coming from Europe, especially from Germany, you have a lot of issues in your country. And if you want to solve your issues, you have to bring in the full potential of everybody, even the girls. If you talk to teachers like Fatoumata, she's a teacher, you know the girls are very intelligent. And in the society, the intelligence of the girls are devaluated. So we need to talk about taboos. We have to speak very honestly about sexual abuse and all that stuff, about teenage pregnancy, about early marriage, even in the rural areas and also in the urban areas. So this is the most issue. We have to open this conversation very smart and very empathic with we need thought leaders, we need opinion shapers. Yeah, we need this, and we need the men, we need the brothers, we need the husbands, because without men and all these part of your community, we can't change the minds, because we have to change the minds of this issue.
You mean we need to change the minds of people toward girls so they can be educated?
Of the value of the girls, yes.
Of course.
And how women are treated and girls are treated. We have to change this, or you have to change this, or we have to change this all over the world.
In Germany, how are girls treated when it comes to education? Are they given the right to educate also?
Oh, this is so different. This is so different. Okay. Yes, in Germany we have all the same opportunities. Okay. And even in Germany, girls are very intelligent and they are able to go to school, they are able to have education, they are able to go to university. Even me, before I was coming here, I was talking to one man. He's the financial director of a school, I don't know how to call it. And he told me, hey, look at yourself. You are a role model because you are a woman and you are well educated. And I was never thinking about that. Yes, of course. And even Fatoumata and even Ibrahim Anjais and even Jojo are role model, or yourself. Yes, Lamin Sami. Yes. We are all role models for them, because it's possible to become something and to bring your power to your full potential, to develop yourself and to bring in all your talents and your ideas.